In 2013, a team of scientists drilling through Arctic ice made a discovery that should not have been possible. A mammoth, frozen, perfectly preserved for 40,000 years. But that was not the shocking part. When they cut through the ice, blood poured out. Liquid, red, fresh, as if the animal had died minutes ago. This raised a question that scientists are still trying to answer. What else is frozen out there, waiting to come back? The Siberian permafrost is the largest natural freezer on Earth. Beneath the ice lie the remains of creatures that walked this planet thousands, sometimes millions of years ago. But in 2013, researchers found something different. A female mammoth, so perfectly preserved that her fur was still intact. Her eyes were still visible, her trunk, her tusks. And when they made the first incision, dark liquid flowed out. Scientists analyzed it immediately. It was blood. Not fossilized, not dried, real blood, preserved in liquid form for 40,000 years. The temperature of the ice had acted as a perfect preservative, keeping the cells intact long after the animal's death. A creature extinct for tens of thousands of years, still carrying the chemistry of life inside its frozen body. But a mammoth with liquid blood is not the most extraordinary thing scientists have pulled from the ice. In 2018, researchers in Siberia extracted 2 tiny worms from permafrost samples. They brought them to the lab. They thawed them slowly. And then they watched. The worms began to move. After 42,000 years frozen in Arctic ice, they were alive, moving, feeding, living, as if nothing had happened. 42,000 years of suspended animation ended in a laboratory in Moscow on a Tuesday afternoon. Scientists called it one of the most significant biological discoveries of the century. Because if a worm can survive 42,000 years frozen, the question becomes, what else can? You don't need to go to Siberia to find an animal that cheats death through freezing. It lives in North America, in forests, in gardens, possibly in your backyard. The wood frog. Every winter, this animal does something that should kill it instantly. It freezes, not hibernates, not slows down, freezes solid. Its heart stops, its lungs stop, its brain activity stops. By every medical definition, the wood frog is dead for months. Then spring arrives. The temperature rises, the ice melts, and the frog comes back. Heart restarting, lungs filling with air, brain rebooting, hopping away as if nothing happened. Scientists have spent decades studying exactly how this works. The frog produces massive amounts of glucose, a natural antifreeze that protects its cells from ice crystal damage. A biological system so sophisticated that medical researchers are studying it to improve organ preservation for human transplants. A frog in your backyard may one day save your life. In 2007, scientists drilling into Antarctic ice extracted samples from a depth that represented ice formed 8 million years ago. 8 million. When they analyzed the samples in the lab, they found bacteria. They applied warmth. They applied nutrients. The bacteria began to grow. Organisms that had been frozen since before the first humans walked the Earth, since before most modern species existed, came back to life in a laboratory in the 21st century. 8 million years of frozen sleep ended with a petri dish and a warm room. Scientists now believe that the limits of suspended animation in nature are far beyond anything we previously imagined. Life does not give up easily. Which brings us to what Arctic researchers have discovered in recent years. As permafrost melts across Siberia and Alaska due to rising temperatures, ancient animals are emerging from the ice. Perfectly preserved cave lions, woolly rhinoceroses, ancient horses, birds with feathers still intact from 46,000 years ago. And in the waters of the Arctic Ocean, researchers tracking walrus populations have documented something extraordinary. Walruses using sea ice in ways scientists never expected. They have been found in states of deep torpor, clinging to floating ice sheets in waters so cold their body temperature drops to levels that would kill most mammals instantly. Their metabolism slows to almost nothing. Their heart rate drops dramatically. Their body enters a state somewhere between life and frozen suspension. Not dead, not fully alive, waiting. Here is the part that changes everything. Scientists are not just studying these animals out of curiosity. They are studying them because the answers could save human lives. The wood frog's glucose antifreeze system is being studied for organ preservation. The proteins in frozen Arctic bacteria are being researched for cancer treatment. The suspended animation of frozen worms is informing research into long-term human space travel. One day, astronauts traveling to Mars may survive the journey using techniques learned from a worm frozen in Siberian ice for 42,000 years. The ice does not just preserve the past. It may hold the key to our future. We built a world that fears the cold, but nature figured out long ago that the cold is not an ending. It is a pause. A mammoth with liquid blood, worms alive after 42,000 years. A frog that freezes and returns. Bacteria from 8 million years ago growing in a lab. Life finds a way, not through strength, not through speed, through patience. Frozen, waiting, ready. If this journey into the ice moved you, leave a comment below telling us which creature surprised you the most. And if you want to keep exploring the darkest and most extraordinary secrets of our planet, subscribe to Below Zero. The ice still has secrets.